Hi, my name is Erica Olson. Today's whiteboard session is how to hold an effective strategic planning retreat or a strategy offsite. So what is the purpose of a strategic planning retreat? The number one thing we want to get out of any retreat is setting the strategic or corporate direction, as well as identifying priorities for the next year about how we go from where we are today to where we're trying to go, and specifically next year, what are the priorities we need to have in place in order to keep moving forward. Normally, it's done on an annual basis. That may or may not be something you want to adopt in your organization. But most retreats are done annually over a several-day period. Some organizations break them up, but for the most part, done annually. A couple considerations to take into note as you're thinking about when to hold your retreat annually. Ideally, it's done in advance of your budget process. So we don't always have the luxury to do that, but ideally, the strategic planning priorities should actually inform the budget process. It should also align your performance review or performance evaluation, so you're establishing individual goals based on corporate goals. And one big thing is no big changes are going to be occurring in the short term right after the retreat. This happens oftentimes. Maybe there's a big consolidation, a move, a big announcement about someone moving jobs. Don't hold your retreat if that's in the foreseeable future. Just wait. Otherwise, you'll torpedo the whole thing. Okay, so whether you're doing it yourself or you're hiring a facilitator, a couple more considerations to take into note in addition to when, but who and what's on the agenda. So who should be involved? Well, most of the time, of course, the executives are always involved in the offsites. Perhaps you're holding an offsite with your department and that information's rolling up. That's great. You know, we can't have everybody at the table, so if you're not holding department offsites, make sure to do employee surveys so you get their ideas into the strategic planning session. So as I say, they're at the table, at least with their ideas there, if not in person. And make sure that you have a different set of thinking styles. So sometimes we'll recommend to clients to bring in some external experts, maybe some different people in the organization who might not be executives, but have different types of thinking, a different perspective, so you're making sure you're getting a well-rounded perspective of the organization and the competitive environment. Really quickly looking at the agenda. This is very basic, but it's a great way to break down an offsite agenda because a lot of people can relate with kind of the thinking around the structure, which is where are we now? So looking at our strategic position, strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. Where are we going? What's that vision in the future? So looking at just recalibrating where we're trying to go as an organization. And how are we going to get there? So those are really your goals and actions. Maybe you're setting longer term goals, but at a minimum, next year's goals for priority setting for everybody in the organization. The most important thing, though, that you need to do is to think about what you're going to do after the retreat before the retreat happens, because we always have a problem of going from having a great couple-day session to actually getting into implementation. So whatever you do, don't forget to make sure you have a plan in place for what do we do after the retreat. Good luck.